two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and the attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The two dudes with the attitudes will bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first of the year, Two Dudes with Attitudes, the WWE edition of a wrestling podcast. As always, I'm the Heartbreak Dude, Denton, the dude of Wrestle Talk. And with me, as always, is that man who enjoys wrestling. He enjoyed his New Year's with his twin brother, Sami Zayn. He's enjoyed his New Year. He's ready to get 2024 popping. It's Ryan. What's going on, my man?
Oh, yeah, it is. This is the first WWE episode we've done in 2024. So, you know, AEW's gotten a lot of love. We did two episodes back to back of them this week. And then let's end the week strong with some WWE love.
Well, they got some love from you. I don't think I get a lot. I'm sure I'll get some hate all over the place about my not loving everything AEW is doing. But hey, you know what? I'm about to repay with WWE right now. So
yeah, because WWE struggled this week, in my opinion.
They did. Always our opinions, right? It's not fact, it's just our opinions.
That's right.
All right, we got a packed show, so let's get into it. You ready?
Always, my friend.
All right, it was the New Year's special edition of WWE this week, and we started off with Raw, and Raw was Raw Day 1. Are you ready for that Raw Day 1 60-second or less recap?
Day 1-ish. Let's do it.
Day 1-ish, my son. Let's go. The show kicks off with Nia Jax getting a clean win over Becky Lynch. Cody Rhodes does what he always does, and he welcomes us to Raw. Cody wants Shinsuke right now, but Shinsuke upsets the crowd and says he will finish the story next week. Vinci gets legit injured, looks like in the head, and Jay and Kofi get the win. It's time for Miz TV with R-Truth, and he talks about Little Jimmy and being in the Judgment Day. JD and Dirty Dom challenge them to a match that they lose, even with R-Truth not even knowing what team he was a part of. Dirty Dom gets his loudest boos ever in his own hometown. Chelsea and Piper go to the club, and they have drinks tossed in their faces by the tag champs. Rhea battles and defeats Ivy to defend her title. Then we get the return of a former champion, Jinder Mahal, who actually cuts a pretty amazing promo to then being interrupted by a winded Rock. The Rock says he's ready to eat dinner at the head of the table. Baszler and Stark defeat Knox and Natalya. Seth Rollins once again defeats Drew McIntyre. And once again, we get another almost cash-in for Damian Priest. And that is our 60-second or less Raw Day 1 recap. And I think I knocked it down in less than 60 seconds, maybe.
I think you did. It was, I'll say this. I thought Raw started off strong and really just kind of faded towards the end. We'll talk about The Rock in a second, but I will say that might be Nia Jax's best match that she's ever had. I really dug that match with Becky Lynch. I was surprised that Nia Jax got the win. So I'm wondering if this feud is going to continue, but I love the end with Becky Lynch getting busted open and them kind of playing up that story again. So, but yeah, Nia Jax, that was a fantastic match from her. So maybe she's silencing some of these critics out there that say she's unsafe and she can't go, because I think she proved that she can. And that's a testament to Becky Lynch too.
100%. And did you hear that supposedly Becky Lynch got legit busted open? I don't think it was a punch or anything. I just think she, somewhere in the match, she did get actually busted open, and supposedly she was A-okay with it. So that's kind of ironic how things work sometimes in wrestling. I got to admit, I wasn't surprised. Like Nate Diaz was said, I'm not surprised, mother. I said it a little while ago that I said Nia Jax was here to face Rhea Ripley, to be her contender at WrestleMania, and that she was going to beat Becky Lynch. And she did. She beat Becky Lynch, and she beat her clean. That punch at the end was pretty impressive. That leg drop into the punch was pretty smooth. It looked safe. I am impressed with Nia Jax. I think with anybody, right? If you have a dream and your dream is taken away and then somebody gives you that dream back and allows you to have that second opportunity, I think just as a human being, and she is an athlete, and an athlete good enough to make it to where she is, she has to be dedicated enough to redo her craft and fix what her mistakes were, right? I have noticed though that she does look a little bit safer, meaning that some of her moves get a little bit paused here and there, or they look a little weak at times. But for some reason, her like Yokozuna drop does not. I feel like they're like, yo, go soft with everything else. But when you Yokozuna drop these girls, just go as hard as you can. It's all good.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like she hits that thing pretty damn hard. But it looks like that she is playing a little bit safer, which is good. I mean, the problem is that, right? She's a big girl. And I don't mean that in like in a bad way. I just mean that she's just like a big girl. So if she does do a botch, it's gonna flip and hurt. And playing it safe here and there, she'll get there. And I feel like she is getting there. And I agree with you. Best match she had. Props to her. And props to Becky Lynch. Man, this girl. There's not many superstars on her level that are okay with taking pins all the time, and she's down for the cause, man. Zoe Stark, Stratus, now Nia Jax. I mean, she doesn't give two rats. She'll take that pin if she needs to. So I agree with you.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal way to open Monday Night Raw. And then the other thing I want to talk about before we get into the elephant in the room, let's talk about that main event with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, because I got problems with this. So I don't have a problem with the outcome of the match. I have zero problem that Seth Rollins retained. My problem came with Damian Priest attempting to cash in Money in the Bank. And I just feel like Triple H is booking Damian to look like a complete and utter moron, because he's cashing in the middle of matches when the match is still going on. He's done this like 4 times now. He even did it during the War Games match at Survivor Series, and just in the middle of the match before Randy Orton came out. Hey, this is a good idea for me to start cashing in right now, knowing that they still have a guy to come in. It makes no sense. And like, why not? There was even a part where Damian Priest after the match is like walking up the ramp and he's staring at Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is down. And I'm like, why can't he cash in right now? Why can't he just run into the ring, cash in right now, and take that World Heavyweight Championship? Why are they doing this all in the middle of these matches? But and then also, I don't really know what's next for Drew McIntyre, because he's lost now what feels like 15 or 16 title matches in a row. I don't know who he can blame for losing this one. He can't blame Jey Uso for it. You can't blame Sami Zayn. You can't blame the Bloodline. This one was all on him. But yeah, I'm curious to see where he goes from here. What happens to him at the Royal Rumble? What happens to him at WrestleMania? And but they got to stop with these cash-ins with Damian Priest. Either cash in after a match like everybody else, or announce when you're cashing in, or and they made it feel like a big deal too, because he didn't come out with Judgment Day earlier in the show. He didn't come out with Dom and JD McDonough during their thing with The Miz. He was kind of kept separate. And I was like, okay, maybe he's going to cash in tonight, because they haven't shown him yet. So this is the perfect opportunity for him to cash in. And he does it in the middle of the damn match. It just makes no sense to me. No sense whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, I fully agree with you. I'm confused. I've been confused on Damon's cash in. But remember, when they're between the ropes, you can't get.
Oh yeah, there's that force field, right? Yeah,
that's where we're coming to the ring, we're running in there, we slide through it, but they get out of the ropes. Darn it! I wanted to kick your butt so bad, but you went through these ropes. I actually kind of had a problem with the main event. I don't know, just why. Maybe Damian is on his way, or maybe Drew is on his way out. Possibly. I don't know if that's what he's doing. Maybe he is, and that's why he's taking it for the team and giving Seth some big wins. But I don't know. I didn't see, and it was still kind of clean again. I mean, he put the pedigree on him, threw him in, stomped him. The end. There was no like collusion. No. I mean, I guess Drew can say Damian got in the way because he tried to cash in the middle, and he had to put his, he had to Claymore him and kind of put his stuff on him instead of focusing on Seth still. But it's like I don't know. This Damian cash-in now is rubbing off on NXT, which we'll talk about soon too. It's just, I've never seen cash-ins, like you said, like this. They always do it big, or they don't do it at all. And even when they got interrupted, it was usually after the match, when they came out and they would slide into the ring, and then the guy would wake up, or the other guy that lost would like hit him from behind, and then he couldn't cash in. It was at least after the match when his opponent was down. If you're just going to cash in while he's focused and standing, then just tell him he wants to face him at Rumble. Then I cash in, I'll face you at Mania. Like, why can't? And I've never gotten that either. Like if I want a Money in the Bank cash in, and I would be like, what can I do with this? I can interrupt and possibly win the title, or I can do what every human being wants to do, including CM Punk, and that's main event WrestleMania. Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and just save this. I'm going to cash in at Mania. You can, I don't care who wins the Rumble or whatever else. I'm cashing in for this title. It's mine. The end. Like, can they say no? Like, that's your guarantee. So I don't get why you don't do something like that. I want to talk about something else that's a little bit confusing, and you let me know what you think. But what's going on with the Judgment Day? I get it. I get it. I think R-Truth is a treasure. I've always loved R-Truth. I will forever love R-Truth. I loved R-Truth even when he was with the little Jimmy Psycho and he wasn't really comedy and he was facing John Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship, and I wanted him to win. I've always been an R-Truth fan.
R-Truth is fantastic.
But there's places for R-Truth, and Judgment Day is not it. And this thing, like, just think about minus Rhea, right? Who was dominant, had a hell of a match against Ivy. That match was bomb. What did Judgment Day do? They didn't get their Miz TV spot. They came out and had a comedy act with R-Truth. They even held somebody, the Miz, to get punched by R-Truth, who then ducked and hit JD. Then they challenged them to a match, and with R-Truth was literally fighting the Miz through some of it, had no idea which match what team he was on, which was hilarious, good content, but they still lost. And then they had the failed cash in again with Damian at the end. Look, it was once again another, like, Triple H has no, like, you got to get R-Truth out of there. I love R-Truth, and I see people going, oh, it's making Judgment Day relevant. No, what would make Judgment Day relevant is being some ass-kicking faction who is beating people up and taking names. That's what they need to be. They don't have to have all the titles, but they need to be beating people up and taking names. They need to be serious, and if they're not going to get serious, then coming from the #1 Judgment Day fan in all the world, and I can guarantee that's a fact, break them up. Because if you're just going to make them the stupid comedy act and when did Dirty Dom stop being with Mommy? As soon as JD got in the crew, have you noticed that? He's like never with Mommy anymore. He's with Mommy on TikTok and Instagram and stuff, but not in the ring. Like, they have basically gotten rid of that. Now him and JD are like the young idiots of the crew. Like, doop, doop, doop. We're two 20-year-olds who don't know what we're doing. Doop, 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 doop. That's what they are now. Instead of Mommy, like, what the hell are we doing here? Am I wrong? That's what I'm more frustrated about than anything on this.
Yes. No, you're not wrong about that. That was the fact that they're just making Judgment Day look like clowns. And, I've seen people compare this to when Sami Zayn joined the Bloodline, that it injected some life into the Bloodline. And because Sami Zayn was kind of a comedy gimmick at the time. And then but it's two completely different things. Because Sami Zayn was doing that. Like, it was a legit thing. Like, he was legitimately joining. They weren't putting him in there to make the Bloodline funny and add comedy.
Yes,
they're doing this to make the Judgment Day look like goofballs. And the Bloodline was still a serious faction, even though Sami Zayn was in it. So so I don't agree with that assertion at all. But yeah, I don't understand why they're making Judgment Day look like fools. And you have Rhea Ripley, the only real dominant winner in there, and then. Dirty Dom got massive heel heat, which was probably the loudest heat I've ever heard in his hometown too, which was fantastic. But again, imagine if Mommy had been out there; it would have been so much better if she was with them. And imagine the whole group being out there during this TV.
Yeah, so was Finn on vacation? Like, what was?
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, they got to stop. I mean, I love R-Truth, but we got to get him. He's got to move on outside of the Judgment Day.
I'm fine with him and Miz. All right. So before we talk about the main, do you want to bring up Shinsuke at all? Or do you want to move on and
we can talk about?
Do you have any interest in Shinsuke, Cody? Like, what are you? It's a match next week. That's kind of why can't I? Do you remember back in the days people would have matches at the Rumble, but then also be in the Rumble? Why can't we do that anymore? Is that like I don't know, bueno anymore?
I guess. Yeah. Okay. They did it a couple years ago when Brock won the Rumble. He was like, he came out and won the Rumble, and then, but earlier in the night he lost to Bobby Lashley, and when Paul Heyman turned on him and reunited with Roman. But yeah, they haven't done it since, and I don't understand it. But yeah, I don't know why this match is happening. And both Shinsuke and Cody are in the Royal Rumble, so we know they're gonna touch each other, and which sounded weird to say. But they're gonna probably. I see Cody and Shinsuke probably coming in at 1 and 2 in the Rumble, so they can have their little feud going on. It can continue in the Rumble match. But I'm going to be honest. I know a lot of people love this with Shinsuke, and I do. I like the character change, and I like I like his little vignettes. but I'm not feeling this feud because at the end of the day, I know what the outcome is going to be. It's going to be Cody Rhodes taking the victory. Shinsuke is going to take yet another loss. It's just a matter of when, not if.
Okay, so what about this? Okay, hear me out. If Punk is going to win the Rumble, right, which means Cody will not win, how do you feel about a Cody downfall starting now, next week, which then he has to rebuild himself up to earn that, kind of be like that underdog now to try to earn his spot back against Roman? If he's going to face Roman at Mania, that's not even, I think that's out of the question. But do you see, or maybe even a downfall through, and that's why he doesn't face Roman at Mania and he has to build himself up to Survivor Series or whenever he will then dethrone Roman. This could be the start of that. Do you see that happening? Or do you think that's not in the cards? Because like, I feel like that's a good thing. Like, instead of just having Cody do the stupid, welcome to Monday Night Raw, hey, why don't you have him be like, holy crap, I'm losing all the time. I need to like get my focus back. Now I've lost my title match at Mania. I need to finish my damn story. I've lost to Shinsuke. I've lost to this person at Rumble. I didn't win the Rumble. I lost to this guy at Mania. I need to build myself back up. Why not a redemption story to kind of get maybe the crowd would be back behind him then? You know what I mean? Is that a bad idea? I don't know.
No, I'd be okay with that. My only problem with that,
I know it's not going to happen, but
it's kind of what we were supposed to get when he lost to Roman at WrestleMania 39 was, you know, he's got to build himself back up. He faced his first piece of adversity, and because he was undefeated up until he lost to Roman, and then he beat Brock Lesnar 2 out of 3 times. He beat Damian Priest. He beat Dom. He won the War Games match, so he really hasn't lost since. But yeah, I could see him being so consumed with getting that main event spot that that's all he focuses on, and maybe he starts losing some matches here and there. That would pique my interest a little bit. I'd be down for that.
Yeah. All right. Bring it up. I'll let you bring it up. I think something big happened on Raw.
So earlier in the night, earlier in the day actually, Triple H posted something on X saying that there was going to be a former WWE champion making their return to Monday Night Raw on day 1, and they even announced it on the show tonight. A former WWE champion is going to be making their return, and they teased it throughout. They said that it's coming up next, and right out of the break, right after the Dirty Dom segment, I think it was, right after that break, they cut to the ring, and Jinder Mahal's music came. And the former WWE champion, I love the little bait and switch that they did there. That was awesome, because the crowd was like, they went from sugar to shit, just like that.
Yeah.
They were so excited, and then he came out, and they're like, oh my gosh, no. So it was just seeing the look of dejection and the look of frustration on their face. Like, this can't be it. And then Jinder Mahal cut what I thought was a decent promo, although I don't really like a lot of the stereotypical stuff that he said. I don't really like that with everything going on in the world about with countries being at war with each other, and all the stuff going on with Palestine and Israel, and even the stuff in the Ukraine. I'm not really a big fan of, we hate America and you guys suck and the Americans are bad, and I don't really, and especially coming from a person that's not the same skin color as, it just feels like there's just kind of adding a little bit more hate out there that's unnecessary. But it was a good promo nonetheless. He got massive heel heat, and then you got to hear the electrifying music of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. If you smell what The Rock is cooking, he came out, and that place erupted like I've never heard before. It was so loud. He was at the Rose Bowl earlier in the day in Pasadena, and he made the trip over to San Diego. I don't know how long of a flight or drive that is, but
that's a helicopter ride, right? And that's The Rock, dude. He didn't drive nothing.
Yeah, Nick Khan was there too at both the Rose Bowl and
maybe a private jet, whatever. Yeah,
but The Rock came out and he dressed down Jinder Mahal, and he basically said that he loves America and you don't ever disrespect the people and yada yada yada. And then him and Jinder went to blows. He hit him with the people's elbow, and then The Rock picks up the microphone and says he started talking to the people in San Diego about him being hungry, and he wants to eat, and he doesn't know if he should eat at a table, or I can't remember what did he say?
Bar.
Yeah, he should eat at the bar,
at a booth,
or at the head of the table, which obviously was a direct shot at Roman Reigns, kind of sparking that interest and challenging Roman, I guess, to a match in the upcoming future, which I'm excited about. I want to see The Rock come back. We were supposed to get this at WrestleMania 39, and apparently it didn't happen. And I'm stoked about this. Whenever it happens, there's people saying that it's going to happen at Elimination Chamber, but the only way it's going to happen is on WrestleMania 40, in my opinion. That's the only place it can happen.
I mean, it has. I get Elimination Chambers in Australia, and they're trying to like boost it. That place is going to sell. Anytime WWE, AEW goes anywhere outside of America, they sell out. That's how it works, because you don't ever go. So I'm not buying into the whole like, oh, Elimination Chamber needs this. It doesn't. And Roman even, and just so you know, Paul Heyman, we'll get to, cut a promo, and he did not say anything about Elimination Chamber. He said he's excited to see Roman face at Rumble. In Mania, whoever he faces, he's going to defeat and destroy. But he is not going to Elimination Chamber. I'm sorry to break it to you all. Roman ain't wrestling at Elimination Chamber. So get that out of your heads. Okay, so here's the thing, right? I want to give major props to Jinder Mahal, because that dude was given probably the most unflattering task you can possibly get, being that guy, because he knew the crowd was going to shut down. He knew he was probably going to get no response, not even boos, just get straight no response. And let's just take away what he said. I thought he cut a phenomenal promo. I thought it was powerful. It was strong. I've always been a Jinder Mahal fan. I don't know why the crowd hates him so much. I think he's a lot better in the ring than people say. I like his finisher. I've always thought he was good on the mic, and I thought his title run was pretty damn good. I think if it wasn't for Brock Lesnar, Brock Lesnar, man, always ruining people's opportunities. No one ever talks about that, huh? Refusing to wrestle him, and they had to give the belt to AJ Styles randomly, like at a Raw right before they wrestled at the Survivor Series or whatever it was, the title versus title match, or not champion versus champion. He had to drop it. I actually thought his run was good. I know people crap on it, but I think people crap on things when they don't like somebody. But I thought he caught a pretty good one. And you did say that you thought the times and this and that, and talking about, shouldn't bring this up. And I read a lot about that on the internet. My thing is, I know it's 2024 compared to like the 80s and 90s or whatever, but that's how Iron Sheik Baby got famous. That's how Sergeant Slaughter got his name in, when he became the hated, turning on America. Sometimes it works if it's done right. I don't think they should do it. I'm just saying, I'm not going to poo-poo on it. This is fake, as long as he's not saying anything offensive or degrading, or, something like stupid AEW did with the whole, quarters line and stuff. As long as you're not making it offensive, it can't. What's wrong with just saying like "Boo America"? I mean, our dumb fans are the ones chanting USA for no reason. I'm a huge. They always chant USA. Dumb Americans will chant USA to anything. I once saw an MMA match where there was no Americans in the match, and they were chanting USA, and even the announcer said none of these guys are American. We're the dumbest fans in the world. We just are. Sorry, I'm a proud American, but we ain't the brightest people in the world. How I Met Your Mother did that chant with Neil Patrick Harris. He proved it, where he was in the bar and he was like, "Oh, Americans will chant anything," and he was like, "USA, you," and then all of a sudden everyone started chanting it, and then she got up, Robin, and was like, "Canada, and no one chanted, so she sat down, and he was like, "Chili fries," and everyone started chanting "chili fries," and then Ted walks in and he's chanting it like out of nowhere. He's like, "Chili fries, man, I want some chili fries." Like, that's just who we are. We're just dumb, but it is what it is. But I didn't hate it. But The Rock, I thought that was so well done, because I think The Rock was going to get a huge pop. He got an even huger pop when he was the person who interrupted it. So I thought The Rock cut a better promo than he had the last few times he's come back. He's been flat, kind of like Roman, and we'll talk about that on SmackDown. He's been flat, and I thought he wasn't so flat than this time when he came out. It felt a little bit better. I like the head of the table line. I like it. But we need to get a follow-up. We can't have The Rock disappear now for 3 months until a week before Mania. Like, we need to. I want to see a little bit more teasing, but I did like what I saw. I applauded. I thought it was perfectly done by Triple H. So bravo.
Yeah, I loved everything. I thought it went on a little too long. I was like, all right, come on. Like,
100% it did.
You're singing, you're singing the national anthem to him. You're singing all these songs to him. It's like, come on, like let's wrap this up. And then, but then the end line made it all worth it. Made it all worth the wait when he said that he wants to sit at the head of the table. So the match is going to happen. I know people want it to happen at Elimination Chamber
Mhm.
because it's going to be a 70,000 person stadium,
Mhm.
and they're going to fill every seat in that house. And I think The Rock will make an appearance there. I really do, because I know
that's going to be the start. Yeah.
yeah, but I don't think he's going to wrestle there. I think he's only wrestling at WrestleMania. Plus, they said it on the TV show Young Rock that it's only going to happen at WrestleMania if it happens at all. So
100%.
it's got to be at Mania, which kind of I'm happy about, because I don't really like the two of the same main events back-to-back years in WrestleMania. So, it's kind of good to space out Cody Rhodes. He doesn't need to win the Rumble. Now, it kind of to me, it makes the Rumble and Elimination Chamber a little less predictable, because CM Punk could win, but maybe they would have had Cody win, and then he would have gone to challenge Roman again. Because now, how does Cody get to the Elimination Chamber match if he wins that? So there's all kinds of loops and things that they can jump through to get there. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with if it is Rock versus Roman, I'd be okay with it. I want to see it happen, and we'll be there in person. So that'll be even better.
The only way this can happen is at Mania. It makes no sense. You can't have a match this big.
No.
I truly think I saw Ice Cube's son talk about this, where he said, who's a big wrestling fan, where he talked about how this would be the biggest main event of all time at WrestleMania, bigger than Rock Austin, and people were like Rock and Hogan, and people were crapping on it. Like, no way. I agree with
I agree.
I think this will be with the fan interest right now, with where that's going to take place in Philly, with everything going on with the Rock. I think this is going to be the biggest main event match of all time. I truly do. I think they can stare at each other for 30 minutes like Rock and Hogan did, and they'll get the same exact standing, cheering, chanting. Holy shit. I think this will be humongous. Also, what was I going to say? That I forgot what I was going to say. But you're ready to move on? Let's move on.
Yeah, just one more thing.
Right, you got one more. Yeah, let's hear it.
There's people out there that are saying that if it's Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania, it's going to be the most predictable outcome ever, because Roman's not dropping the title to The Rock. Be that as it may, there's still Damian Priest, and maybe this is when maybe The Rock does shock the world and dethrone Roman Reigns. And I'm not saying this is going to happen, but Damian, then Roman Reigns and Solo and Jimmy and Jay, they beat The Rock down afterwards, and then Damian Priest comes out and cashes in on The Rock, and now you have The Rock putting somebody over, younger talent over, on his way out. It's a good way to write Roman Reigns off of TV for a while. He can kind of come back later on. And then, so I'm not so sure it is predictable.
No, and I hate when, how I feel about the predictable thing, because it's like everything is predictable once it happens. So if Rock won, it'd be like, oh, well, obviously The Rock, but he wouldn't come back for no. Oh, Roman wins. Well, obviously we're not going to have a part-timer once again be the it's all, everything's predictable once you know the result. So, and that's what I was going to say, is that all the Cody fans out there, like our boy Phil over on TikTok and stuff, who was like diehard, like, no, it has to be Mania because such a Cody Rhodes fans. Don't worry, Cody Rhodes fans. He's gonna finish his story. Let him beat Hogan's record. Let him finish his story. You don't want him at Mania anyway, because Roman's probably going to win at Mania, because they want to get that streak broken. They don't want Hogan in the record books of any modern day longest reign champion. They want to take that away from him. So let Roman cook a little bit longer. Cody will have his moment. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Just a matter of when.
You ready? Let's go some NXT New Year's Evil. Bum, bum, bum. And my goat dropped the ball for really the first time. This is his first
This was a miss. Yeah.
One that was dropping the ball. But let's get into it. 60 seconds or less. NXT New Year's Evil. Lyra Valkyria defeats Blair Davenport to defend her title. Lola Vice with a failed attempt to cash in. I've seen this before, right? I'm not sure. Dragunov will not be fighting tonight in the advertised anticipated main event of the night. LWO gets the win that featured a slingshot sending Wild about 70 yards. I don't know. It was to the moon. Carmelo Hayes offers up Trick Williams' #1 spot in a match against Grayson Waller in the new main event of the night. Roxanne Perez defeats Ariana Grace. Roxanne then snaps after the match. The Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic starts next week. AEW and NXT sure do love their tournaments, right? Holy cow. Davenport and Lyons brawl backstage. Henley beats Stratton, and now Stratton is her ranch bitch. Baron Corbin and Bron Breakker will be a tag team of dummies and muscles, I think. Ridge Holland has a sit-down interview to talk about all the injuries he's had, but he's here to prove himself. Oba defeats Osborne to become the Mids breakout tournament winner. Trick is mad at Mello, but Mello believes in him. Chase needs to focus on debt, and Osborne and Hudson will join in the Dusty Cup. Trick Williams defeats Grayson Waller in the main event with help from KO and not help from Mello. And why was KO there? And that's my 60-second NXT New Year's Evil recap. I'm sure this will be a quick recap. Yeah. Let's hear it. My boy, the GOAT. Look at my name, Heartbreak Dude. I am the biggest Heartbreak Kid fan of all time. I've liked him since I was literally in diapers, and I cannot believe the crap that he put on. We had Dragunov's not injured, right? Have you checked that?
So,
can we clarify that?
I've heard
this 100% fake.
So there's a rumor out there, or a report, that he's not injured, but he is banged up and coming out of 2023, and the WWE felt that he needed to, I guess, avoid serious injury. I guess he has some nagging stuff. They wanted to avoid like a serious injury, so they're taking him off the road. They're taking him off of TV probably until the next pay-per-view, whatever it is going to be.
Then don't advertise him. There's one of the things that WCW failed at was that thing. You can't advertise matches and last second just not do it just for storyline. Because I do feel like they're just trying to drag this on even longer, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, let's switch the promotions for a minute, and let's talk about AEW. And we were just crapping on them when they did this with Swerve Strickland, the most over guy on their roster. He has a popular song many people think is the next world champion on their brand. And they made him wrestle randomly when Keith Lee got injured. Dustin Rhodes with no build, no story, and just how random it was. And it was a great match, but it was just a random pairing. And now look at this, the most over guy on the NXT roster. Many people think he's probably next in line to win the title. He has a really
also
cool
African American too.
Yeah, also African
really cool theme song. Look at that. They're like, whoa.
Yeah. So let's and then let's put him in a match with no build and no story against Grayson Waller. So this was a huge miss for me. And that's the thing too. Don't advertise. You advertised it on Raw. You advertised it last week. You had them sign the contract the week before. You advertised it, you promised it, and then 20 minutes into the show, you're like, oh yeah, LOL, JK, that's not happening tonight. Instead, he's going to wrestle Grayson Waller. Yeah.
At the beginning of the show, I remember them hyping it at the beginning of the show. They even had like the promo and everything. They knew he wasn't going to wrestle. That's why I'm pissed off.
Yeah,
I just think it's like a waste. Imagine going there, paying to watch that, and you get, sorry, no offense to Grayson Waller versus Trick Williams for number one. Like, who the heck? What'd you think of the match? Since we're already on it, well, did you like the outcome?
Yeah,
what'd you think about Mello, KO? Like, what do you?
They're dragging that Mello thing out a little too long. I don't care anymore who attacked Trick Williams in the parking lot. I don't. It feels like it happened like 6 months ago, and they're just dragging it out a little too long. I understand why KO was there, because he's been feuding, I guess, on SmackDown with Grayson Waller with the sucker punching and everything, and I guess they had to have a big star. And that's another thing too. Shawn Michaels tweeted during the event that there's going to be a former NXT champion watching the main event, and a lot of people thought it was going to be Andrade making his return to WWE. It wasn't. So I think people were just kind of outraged about that, which, that's not on WWE, that's on the fans. But yeah, the Kevin Owens thing, it was fine, I guess. But yeah, the match was what it was. I'm glad that Trick Williams got the win. If they had done that and they gave Grayson Waller the number one contendership for the NXT championship, I'd be even more pissed than I am right now. Because and I love Grayson Waller, but no, you don't do that to Trick Williams.
Well, why Grayson Waller? He's not even in NXT anymore. Why would you didn't have any NXT guy that you can kind of give it
because
to?
They did it. It was the battle of the two Iron Survivor Challenge winners. That's why they did it. Because Grayson Waller won the men's one last year, and then lost to, was it Carmelo or Bron or somebody?
Yeah, they always lose. Yeah, I think it was Bron. Yeah.
And then this year it's Trick Williams that was the winner. So they wanted it to be the two winners of the only two times they've had this.
And was KO, because he's there to watch, even though they never showed him watching, was he there because he knew that Dragunov wasn't going to be in the match? Because they didn't announce that till then. So why did he even fly there and go there? He was going to go watch Dragunov and Carmelo and Trick. He was that interested. Once again, just stupid booking. Where I hate when things don't make sense. When it's like KO should have not. And then he hit him and caught, like, Trick can't even get a clean win over Grayson Waller. He needs help. And what was Melo doing? Did he know KO was there? Were they working together? Or did it look like Melo was trying to cost him the match? I'm so over it, I guess.
I know. I don't care anymore. They've dragged it out way too long. A lot longer than it needed to go. And I think this started around the same time that the Devil storyline started in AEW. And it's still going. And Devil story's advancing. So
I'm telling you, I'm starting to see a lot between NXT and AEW, man. Like
all
a
the
lot
tournaments
of the type tournaments. Yeah. Once again, they're literally just finished a tournament that night, and now they're having another one next week. Like we don't need tournament. Why not just build storylines, HBK? You're good at that. Just stop following the TK model and just trying to build people off of tournaments. It doesn't work. I'm all for Dusty in the tournament, but give it a month and then let's start it back up again. Let's build some stories.
I will say, sign me up for Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker.
I was about to ask you that.
Yeah, sign me up for that all day long. I mean, these guys, they're not going to be in the title picture anytime soon because it's going to be Trick and Carmelo and Dragunov. So, they're not going to win the North American Championship. I think they're bigger than that. So I think a tag team is the perfect place for them. So
and why not get it off of Tony D and Homeboy? Because they've done nothing both times they've had the title. So no offense to Tony D, they just don't know what to do with them. So they're a bigger deal. And I mean that's really it, right? I mean, you good with Stratton becoming a ranch bitch? I mean, it's been pretty funny since they've had some. But you have to follow them on Twitter and stuff where she's doing all that like Paris Hilton and what was her name? I forget, where they're doing like the ranch life or the farm life stuff. It's that old Nicole Richie. Stuff. That old, they were like the original like TV show like that, real life shows. But I'm digging it, man. I like that. I think I don't like Stratton taking L's all the time now. I don't think she's big enough to be enhancing everyone already. I mean, I know she was a champ and was good, but I don't think she's not on the Becky Lynch level to be enhancing talent at the moment. I think she needs some wins as well.
Yeah.
But
I'm not a fan of her losing. But I'm digging this ranch stuff. I'm curious to see what they do with it.
I agree. All right. SmackDown time. You ready? Are you ready?
Oh yeah.
Let's get
I got problems with SmackDown too. So
I know you do. We're about to be fired again. All right. SmackDown New Year's Revolution. 60 seconds or less. You ready?
Yep.
Roman Reigns arrives in the building and for some reason doesn't want to talk to the beautiful Kayla Braxton. Is he blind or I don't know? Kevin Owens defeats Santos Escobar. Yeah, that's why. I don't care what she asked me about. Santos Escobar with Logan Paul on commentary to become the #1 contender for the U.S. title. KO hits Logan Paul in the face with this cast. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits talk about all the cool stuff they will do in 2024 when Cross and the AOP with a brown-haired Scarlett and a no-hair Paul Elliner beat the snot out of them. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory take care of the injured Logan Paul. Io Sky defeats Michin to defend her title. Paul Heyman cuts a pretty damn killer promo backstage saying Roman Reigns will smash anyone he faces on this planet, and it doesn't matter who he fights at Rumble or at WrestleMania. Damage Control won all the gold, and Bianca interrupts, and she will face Bayley next week. Butch and Tyler Bate defeat Pretty Deadly. Ashante the Adonis wants a chance. The triple threat ends in a no contest when Roman and the Bloodline interrupt. This leads to a four-way at the Rumble that Nick Aldis announces to Paul Heyman where no one in the arena could hear. Only us on TV. Gotta love WWE. Take that, fans who paid. And that's our 60 seconds or less SmackDown New Year's Resolution review. Man, I nailed these reviews this week.
Yeah, you did. You killed it.
Thank you very much.
No, you didn't mess anyone's names up today.
No, I even got the hard ones. Yeah, I got some good ones that I usually mess up. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I don't know where
I'll let you start as always. Should we just start with Roman Reigns? I know you're married and stuff, but at least a pretty lady wants to talk to you. I mean, gosh, Roman Reigns. Him and Paul Heyman always dogging Kayla. I still think Paul and Kayla got something going on, but we'll see. Remember those jokes back in the days when he used to that was when Kayla was just getting started. I miss those days.
Yeah, she would ask him a question, be like, that's the worst question I've ever. Yeah, it was so funny.
Yeah. Can we talk about like how great Renee Paquette is? But when you got Kayla and Kathy Lee doing commentary in the back on one show, like holy cow! Like I'm always like, come on, backstage promo. Let's see. Kayla
there was a question
Kathy talking. Let's go
on the WWE 2024 special. Kathy Kelly interviewed Paul Heyman right after Monday. I think it was after Raw or SmackDown. It was after SmackDown last week. And she didn't ask about The Rock because obviously it didn't happen yet. But she asked her a question. He was like, that's actually a really good question. I've never been asked that before. So it was like a little dig at Kayla Braxton too, which was funny.
Well, and that's funny because they've always had their little and it's all for fun. But
yeah.
But anyway, I'll stop talking about my love for these girls. You go ahead. What you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Roman, and I like
new hoodie.
I love that new hoodie. The levels above, that was fantastic stuff.
Yeah, but
I wish he would have cut a promo. I really do. I feel like he hasn't been on TV. I mean, he's been on TV. I guess the last week was a clip show. The week before he was on, but it was pre-taped. Yeah, but I still think that he should have cut a promo because everybody wants to hear what he had to say about The Rock, and everybody wanted to hear what he had to say about the main event, and he didn't do anything. And then we didn't hear from him all night. They didn't do any backstage segments with the Bloodline. They didn't do any, him talking to Jimmy about, whatever's going on with Jay. It looks like Jay might be going after the Intercontinental Championship. You got to put a stop to it. He didn't do any of that stuff. So I was really, really disappointed with that. I love the Paul Heyman promo that he cut. I mean, he name dropped CM Punk. He name dropped The Rock. Said that The Rock, he said that if you want to go viral in this world right now, you have to do two things: one, date Taylor Swift, or two, challenge Roman Reigns. And he talked about Roman Reigns wins a match, John Cena comes out. Roman Reigns wins a match, Brock Lesnar comes out. Roman Reigns wins a match, there's Cody Rhodes, and he's still talking about finishing his damn story. I mean, it was phenomenal. He welcomed CM Punk back. And then he said, you're right. You were the original Paul Heyman guy. And then I upgraded to advocate. Then I upgraded to wise man. It was just
best friend to advocate to wise man. It was pretty damn good. Yeah.
Yeah. It was good stuff. I mean, it was Paul Heyman at his best. And then he ended it with like his prayer, his hands in like, cause I guess Roman's in God mode. So he put his hands up, he was praying and he's looking up to the heavens above, talking about how great Roman Reigns was. It was a fire promo. And, I am curious now what The Rock does. Does he come back on Raw? Does he come to SmackDown next week? Do we get any interaction between him and Roman between now and the Rumble? I don't know. But that was a fire promo from Paul Heyman. And then the main event, of course, Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso come out and beat up LA Knight, and Randy Orton and AJ Styles. And I will say, I'm digging this side of Nick Aldis that's not putting up with crap, even though he was just standing there for this entire beatdown.
Oh, yeah, and then
all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah, tell Roman Reigns he just got himself booked into a fatal 4-way at the Royal Rumble, and then he walks away. So I'm digging this Nick Aldis not putting up with anyone's crap storyline that they're doing on SmackDown. But I don't want to see a fatal 4-way at the Rumble. It just feels like a huge letdown. It feels like yet again another main event that they advertised and they sold us, and we were thinking, okay, we're gonna get a one-on-one match at the Royal Rumble, and it's all foiled again. There's no outcome because I guess they didn't want anyone to take a pin going into the Rumble, so they had to do it this way. But I don't know. I wasn't digging this at all.
Yeah, where to start? Okay, so far on, I actually thought Roman not cutting a promo was okay, only because of Paul Heyman's promo. So I think what they want to do with Roman is that he didn't answer the question with Kayla. He didn't talk about it. Paul did. He went and just beat down. I think they want to save him and The Rock to have a face-to-face. They don't want to bring him up. That's what I think they're going with. And I'm very excited because remember, the last time Roman went against someone great on the mic was Cena, and he got embarrassed. He fumbled his words, and ever since then, he has never been the same again. He has now cut killer promos since then. He learned his craft like Nia Jax is doing now. You learn from your mistakes, right? And he has been nothing but great. I am actually super stoked for The Rock and Roman. I think it's going to be phenomenal with them going back and forth with the head of the tables and with Rock's energy and Roman's calmness and laughing at him and probably calling him old and a has-been. I'm like super excited for it. But that Paul Heyman promo was perfect. The only thing I didn't like about it was that he said The Rock comes out and name drops Roman. He 100% didn't name drop Roman.
No, he didn't
name drop Roman at all. He didn't call him head of the table. Can literally just mean he wants to sit at the head. Like that could mean anything. Obviously it isn't, but he didn't name drop him. It wasn't like he was like, and I'm going to sit at the head of the table at WrestleMania against Roman Reigns. Like he didn't say anything like he didn't name drop him. So let's cut that out. But I did like all that, and I thought this was a good appearance. He looked dope in the hoodie. I like seeing him in a hoodie instead of a shirt. I don't know why. I just think he looked a little bit more meaner. His beard was a little bit bigger, and I like that he came out and put in work. The only thing I didn't like was, like you said, they had to do the 4-way, and here's the reason why I think they did the 4-way. I think you're right. I don't think they wanted any of these guys to take a L. But secondly, I just don't think they want any of them in the Rumble. I think they want to put their focus on CM Punk and Cody in the Rumble. And by taking away these, because now these 3 guys will not be in the Rumble. This will obviously be the main event. They're not going to wrestle at the Rumble. So taking them out of it, I think it hurts the Rumble, to be honest. But I think it's their way of not having fans get fickle and choose and blah, blah, blah. So I think that's why they did it. Nick Aldis announcing it was a little random because he like went to Paul and Paul was like too in character and was like, "Don't touch me," and then ran away. And Nick Aldis was like, "No, bro, we have to like get over here." Like, had to like
get back here.
Chase him. Like, and then he was like, "Dude, we gotta like deliver the stupid line, bro." So I think Paul Heyman always gets too, and he's like Daniel Day-Lewis, where he just gets into character and he's
method
like
acting.
He's just so hardcore. But I thought that was sad. I'm assuming after the match, when the crowd was probably booing and confused on what the hell was going on, they announced that it's a fatal 4-way. But that's a really bummer, too. Like, I'm sorry. LA Knight can't take an L. Get the F out of here with that. AJ can't take it. Get the heck. Like, why couldn't Randy just pin LA Knight and put
one of them's going to take an L at the Rumble? So
100%. Yeah. And the crowd was very iffy anyway. At some points, they were kind of booing LA Knight, kind of booing Randy, then cheering LA Knight, and then cheering Randy, and oohing and ahhing. And they were very confused with it. It was like the AEW thing where you just put 3 baby faces in a ring together. It gets kind of, puts the fans in a weird situation, but it is what it is. We'll get the 4-way, but one of them has to take an L at Rumble. So, and I think we all know who it's going to be. LA Knight. Yeah. I think he's taking the L at Rumble, but
you think there's any chance that Roman loses at the Royal Rumble and therefore maybe Randy Orton wins, and then CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble. So CM Punk goes after Seth Rollins, and then Cody Rhodes wins the Elimination Chamber. And then we get Cody versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania for the title. And then we still get The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, but no title on the line. Is there any chance?
I'm going to go with this percentage. Are you ready? I think there is a 0% chance that I don't even think it is I don't even think Triple H has even thought of this. I don't think this 4-way was any way, shape, or form built to have Roman lose. I think this was built because they just wanted all 3 of these guys to feel important, because it's like, well, and I truly do. I think it's a take the light away at Rumble. I don't think they want all 3 of these guys with the crowd being like, "Oh, why did CM Punk eliminate Randy? Boo!" Or "Why did CM Punk eliminate LA Knight? Boo!" I think this is the focus on CM Punk and Cody. My biggest thing out of this all, though, a question I have to ask for you, because there's not much more to talk about really with SmackDown, is that we have now the main event of SmackDown set for Royal Rumble. What's going on with Seth? What's going on with the Raw? It's all been Drew. So what's going on with Seth right now? It ain't Punk. So what's going on with Seth?
Night off? Yeah, I don't know.
Heck no. Who's he facing at Rumble? Who's even in the? It can't be Cody, or is it going to be Cody? Who's in? Who's even there?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Drew McIntyre. It makes sense if it's McIntyre again. Yeah, Damian Priest would have made sense if he had successfully cashed in. Then you have the rematch right there at the Royal Rumble. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who he would face. Gunther, but Gunther's not there.
No, Gunther's not going to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah,
that's a good
Weird
question.
Weird stuff. All right. Anything else you want to bring up? What you like about SmackDown? Not like? Are we moving on? I mean, Logan Paul's there.
They wrapped up their tournament too. So, we can't crap on NXT for having a tournament when they just wrapped up the US number 1 contender tournament. But no surprise, it's going to be Logan Paul and Kevin Owens. I was surprised that
Logan will get that win.
Oh yeah. My biggest surprise was that Grayson Waller and Austin Theory want to be friends with Logan Paul. All of a sudden, they're like a trio. That was a huge surprise to me, just because all the smack Logan Paul has talked about being the greatest United States champion of all time. How he's brought relevance to the title. He's only been the champion for 62 days, and he hasn't had to defend it yet. But Grayson Waller, Austin Theory rather, I did crap on his reign a few months ago, but his reign was no slouch either. I mean, he was beating Seth Rollins, he was beating Bobby Lashley,
Yes,
he was
for
beating,
sure. Yes,
he beat Rey Mysterio numerous times. He beat John Cena at WrestleMania. So for Logan Paul to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm the greatest U.S. champion of all time. This title's the most relevant it's ever been," and then for Austin Theory to be like, "Hey, let's be friends," like it doesn't make sense to me. But
greatest champion he's ever even defended the title.
Yeah.
I actually get what you're saying. That makes sense. But I'm all for this trio because
I'm for it.
Yeah, probably
it's
gonna make a lot of wrestling. It's gonna make a lot of wrestling fans upset. But Logan Paul, this is gonna push. This is kind of like Logan Paul being that leader and them two being under him in a group. If they really start a clip, that is going to elevate Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. And I know that sounds stupid because Logan Paul's not a full-time whatever, but they've been around longer. Now, Logan Paul's that dude. He's going to elevate them. I would love to see this faction lead all the way into Mania. So where we have LA Knight beat Logan Paul at WrestleMania for the IC or for the US Championship. So, yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That was our, yeah.
And then one more thing, the Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
He's back with the AOP.
Oh, you want to talk about the AOP? Yeah.
Crowd
had no idea who they were.
Yeah.
I mean,
the crowd was a little flat in British Columbia last night because Tyler Bate also came out and he got zero reaction with with Butch as his partner. So that was, I thought the segment was stupid with the Bobby Lashley cutting the promo talking about this is going to be the greatest year of our career, 2024. And then out comes Karrion Kross and AOP. But I'm curious to see what they do. I'm curious. I'll give it some time to let it cook. And, because Karrion Kross he's always leaving and coming back. He's like the McRib of WWE. He's always leaving and coming back. And then he comes back and he beats somebody down, then he loses the match. So yeah, I'll get excited. Everyone else is like all excited and pumped about it. It's gonna take some time for me to get into it.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't a fan of AOP and NXT and their WWE run before. I didn't like Scarlett's brown hair. I think having Paul and Scarlett is like, we have two managers in a 3-man group. I don't know. I thought it was too much for me. We'll see what happens. Once again, I'll let it cook. I'm just glad that Karrion Kross has a purpose finally. At least he's doing something and has something to do other than just, losing and talking about nonsense. So I'm all for it in that aspect. All right. Yeah. That's our week. That's our weekend review for the WWE. Let's get into our segment, and we are doing back-to-back segments of our New Year's resolutions. Just time for WWE. Oh, but I do want to add that Karrion Kross did look jacked. Dude has been eating his steroids up. I'm telling you, WWE, since they took up, they must have no more steroid policy. Or we found a steroid you can take that's legal because all these dudes are like just starting to really bulk up. I can't wait to see Kevin Owens like in 2 weeks, all like shredded with a six.
Oh yeah, he's gonna take his shirt off and he's gonna like this whole time. He's like, yeah, this been there the whole time. What are you guys talking about?
I never had a belly. All right, yeah, maybe Dirty Dom needs to take some of it. All right, New Year's resolutions. All of them, however many you got. We'll start with you, Mr. Ryan. Let's get into it. Let's go. What are your resolutions?
So this is going to sound crazy, but I actually want to see the WWE find their next like few big, huge stars. And I know that sounds, but like think about it though. Like Seth Rollins, if and when he drops that title, he might be taking some time off, and who knows how long he'll be out if his back injury is legit. We don't know how much longer we have Roman Reigns in the WWE. Apparently, there's rumors about his health that are circulating the internet as well. We don't need to get into that, but things about his health are coming around, and maybe he might be done after his reign's over. And then CM Punk is 45 years old, and the last time he's been in the ring with AEW, he got injured twice, and they were massive injuries where he had to miss time and relinquish the title. You have Randy Orton, who's still there, yes, but can he stay healthy? He's been proven to be an injury risk as well. AJ Styles is always, he just came back from an injury. LA Knight is up there in age. Bobby Lashley's been around for a while. So I really want to see the WWE find, they may have it in the women's division, but I want to see them find the next like male breakout star that's going to be the next big thing, for lack of a better phrase. Like when John Cena was coming up, he didn't just come up by himself. He came up with Batista. He came up with Randy Orton. Brock Lesnar was there. That was around the time that Edge's singles career took off and he became great. JBL was, away from the tag team and he became who he was. I want to see that with the WWE, the guys that can carry the load when all these big guys leave. So whether that's Bron Breakker when he gets called up, or Carmelo Hayes. I think Carmelo Hayes has a really good look and he's solid in the ring. And if they push him right, he could be the next big megastar. You know, I want Grayson Waller. If they push him correctly, he could be that guy. But right now, like if you take CM Punk away, if you take Seth Rollins away, you take Roman Reigns away, and Randy Orton and LA Knight and AJ Styles, you really just have Cody Rhodes that you can kind of build the company around. And you still have Chad Gable there. You have Gunther. Gunther's can be the face of the company in the near future as well. But, you know, Chad Gable's there, Ciampa's there, The Miz is there. But, like, who's going to be the guy that's going to carry the load for the WWE for the next 10, 15, 20 years going forward? And I hope they find that in 2024.
Yeah, agreed. Good one. Is that your only one?
No, and then my other one is, you know, continue building the women's division. Right now, the women's division is solid and stacked. You have Jade Cargill, wherever she comes, if she comes to Raw, SmackDown, or NXT, all the women on NXT are killing it. The women on Monday Night Raw are killing it. You're building the tag team division the right way. So yeah, continue building the women's division and letting the women cook. And I know that sounds sexist to say let the women cook, but I mean it in the sense of, you know, let them do their thing.
What?
Yeah. So don't cancel me. Yeah, we're done. Ryan says women belong in the kitchen.
That's only men can cook. Yeah. All right. I like it. I like them both. I had a women's one too, but yeah, I like it. I think everyone will have New Year's resolutions for all organizations, the AEW and WWE, to let these women do what they can do just as good as the men. So, and I mean that they're just as good. Let them have some time. So we're getting there. All right. I got 5, but I'll go quick.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Some of mine are easy. All right. Number 1, I want a successful cash in from Damian Priest. I don't want none of this BS with him not. Yeah. That's what I knew is you better give it to me. I want Bayley winning the Rumble and the belt at Mania. That's something else I want. I know these are like wishes, but it's still a New Year's resolution. Hey, I want, like you said, I want a better focus on the women's tag titles. I feel like we can get there. There's so many women. If you end up bringing Sasha Banks, if you end up bringing other people back,
Naomi's coming back.
Why Naomi's like? Why not? You have all these girls who you're gonna not be able to fight for the titles.
There's your story right there. They walked Sasha Banks and Naomi walked out with the titles. They never lost them. There it is, right there. They should
bring them back. They should walk in with them. How dope would that be? That's good.
Bring them
I
back.
like that. Yeah. I agree. I want the return of Trish Stratus. Return of Trish Stratus. She's been hitting at it. But my number 1 New Year's resolution, and I know it doesn't sound like I'm telling WWE to improve other than the women's tag titles, but I want Demolition to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Triple H has taken it over now. Supposedly he has 100% say, which is cool because maybe he can put Vince in it, who deserves to be in it as the biggest heel ever probably in this business. But I really, really want to see Demolition. In my opinion, I think Demolition is the greatest tag team of all time. I know people try to say, oh, well, they were just a copy of Legion of Doom. Not really. Oh, they just dressed up like they were doing some S&M stuff. Yeah, probably. But they were some of the biggest. They kind of enhanced and made that Freebird rule big when they added Crush into it. They have one of the best intros ever. If you never heard it, go listen to Demolition's intro music. It is a banger. They looked vicious. They had a great finisher. I loved it. They were the longest reigning tag team champions for like ever until New Day took over that. I just want to see Demolition into the Hall of Fame. I've never really looked into why they weren't. Obviously, they had some kind of beef with Vince McMahon, but I think they deserve it this year. They need to be in it. I know there's a lot of others that do too, but I want to see Demolition into that Hall of Fame. And if you want to add in Lex Luger and Elizabeth and other people, do that as well, because Miss Elizabeth's not in it either, right? Which is a travesty. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I want to see Demolition in the Hall of Fame. That's my New Year's resolution right there for WWE.
Something about a lawsuit with WWE that Demolition had, that's why they're not in it. I don't know what that lawsuit's all about, but yeah, that's the reason they're not in it. But yeah, I completely agree with that. They need to be in the Hall of Fame. Bray Wyatt needs to be in the Hall of Fame as well.
I think he's going this year no matter what. Yeah.
And yeah, I agree with everything. I think I was surprised you didn't say, a big push for your boy Dirty Dom too, because
he's already getting that push, baby. He's already getting that push.
I want him, to go back to what I was saying about building younger stars. That man is a heat magnet. So ride him put the strap on him and let him, ride it to the moon, Cameron Grimes style. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But let him become the next world heavyweight champion on or on Monday Night Raw.
I agree.
And let him.
I agree.
Imagine the heel he would get, especially if he got it in like a cheating way, or and he goes out talking about how he's the greatest champion of all time. Why not? Why not? So I'm all for a Dirty Dom push, and it would kind of talk about push further my resolution, which was finding that next big star that you can kind of build the company around.
I still honestly really want him to be the one to dethrone Gunther. I've said that in the past. I really do. Why not? Why not have, when Gunther's ready to fight for the World Heavyweight Championship, have a Priest, a Finn Balor help him beat Gunther and have him be a super long reigning IC champion like the Honky Tonk Man, where he's that chicken shit heel who has to get help every single time, and the fans just hate him and they're going to want him to lose. And after he has it for 6+ months, he finally loses it to somebody and that guy gets elevated. I think that's what they need to do with Dirty Dom. Let him beat Gunther. Why not, man? He get pushed to the moon if he beats Gunther.
I would love it if Gunther, Gunther's like the ring general. He believes in, clean finishes. He believes that the best man wins. Just imagine Dirty Dom cheating to beat him. Imagine Dirty Dom using the ropes to end the reign of Gunther.
That's what I'm saying.
It would be awesome. It would be awesome.
That's what I'm saying. Let it cook. Yeah. Yes, sir. All right. That was our special Saturday edition. That was fun, huh?
Yeah, that was fun. We should do this more often.
Saturday. We should. Once my soccer team is done dominating in the playoffs, I'm still coaching on these. I usually have games on Saturdays because I'm such a good Ted Lasso coach. That's why I got the stash going. I got to get my Ted Lasso on when I coach. But yeah, man, that was our WWE edition. We'll be back to our normally scheduled programming next week in the daytime for Thursdays and Fridays, WWE and AEW. We'll see, man. WWE following their little, New Year's edition.
CM Punk's back on Raw.
CM Punk's fine. Yeah, what the heck? He still can't wrestle all the time. And then AEW, let's see where they're going after that kind of, momentum on Dynamite, where they're going on, Rampage. I didn't watch yesterday, but it doesn't really matter. Collision and what we're doing on Dynamite moving forward. We might get Sasha Banks tonight. Who knows? People are saying they were saving it for Collision. I think Adam Copeland's coming back. So we got a lot of stuff going on, right? We got a lot of things banging up here. Yeah, so I'm excited for that. And this is the new us, new names. We're going to be blowing up on here as well. So continue to tune in, checking us out. Follow us everywhere you can. Us individually, us as a group. We want to do big things. We're here for you all, giving, wrestling fans from a wrestling fan perspective. We're not here for all the hooplas. We're just keeping it real and giving our opinions. So that's what we do. So tune into us. As always, I'm the Heartbreak Dude, Denton. You can always catch me at HBD Denton everywhere you want to listen to me yap for whatever reasons. And with me, as always, is the man.
Ryan enjoys wrestling. Go follow me everywhere you can as well. And then follow us on TikTok at 2 Dudes with Attitudes. Go follow our X page at 2 Dudes PC. Go follow our individual social media accounts as well. But yeah, like you said, man, we're trying to blow up this year. We're over 600 subscribers on the YouTube. So let's get to 1,000 by WrestleMania 40. I think we can do it.
I think we can do it. We can do it.
Yeah.
We can do it. Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Dude, fuck, we out.
2 dudes and the attitudes.